I remember my face. I remember making faces in the mirror and laughing. I remember laughing. I can recall the wind on my skin, the wind running with me when I ran. I remember running and skipping, walking, tiptoeing. I remember people smiling at me. I remember making friends. I want to see, run, play, laugh, sleep and eat. And I don't want to be terrified anymore. I don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to cry anymore. I want to see my face again.
Every day, fire destroys lives in India forever. But fire isn't the evil. The incapacity to treat burn victims is. The inability to reduce, if not stop this, is. The failure on our part to contribute, to help, is the evil. Agni Raksha is the only organization in India to treat, heal, and rehabilitate burn victims. Victims of circumstance, of ill education, of social injustice, and gender inequality. Agni Raksha was founded by Dr. Prema Dhanraj, who herself, at the tender age of 8, experienced the unimaginable trauma of being a burn victim. Her story is a sterling example of a burn victim overcoming debilitating limitations. Her story is a shining beacon to all burn victims. It is a story of unadulterated courage, of unswerving hope, and undeniable triumph.
For 3 days, I think the doctors had given up hope that I won't make it. I had the treatment initially, and then they decided that they have to release my neck because my lip was almost touching my chest here. And I was taken to the OR 3 times, and all the 3 times they sent back because they could not intubate me. And this, I think, shattered my mother. So she was sitting in the chapel and she was literally crying, and then I think she prayed and she promised God that if God gave me a new lease of life, she would make me a doctor for burns, and she would make me to be a doctor in the same hospital. From then on, I think it's just a climb up, you know, I never had to look back.
While doctors brought life to her face, God healed the trauma within. Dr. Prema reaches out to women traumatized by a similar agony as hers. Today, she's a successful plastic and reconstructive surgeon helping hundreds of women overcome the pain of life after burns. These women see in Dr. Prema not only the similarity of pain and scars, but also the strength of character and her inextinguishable iron will. Dr. Prema's younger sister Chitra was also a victim of sorts. Not only has she witnessed her sister's trauma, she also grew up with little care and attention during her formative years. However, all this hardship molded her into a strong person with a deep sensitivity to families in similar circumstances.
See, we are talking on 2 things in Agni Raksha. One is how to prevent getting burnt. Another thing is for the victims who are already burnt. So I feel they need a lot of psychiatric support, they need a lot of counseling, they need life skills.
2 பிள்ளைங்கள பார்த்துக்கிறேன். இப்போ சொல்கிறாங்க, இன்றைக்கி வராங்க பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரெல்லாம் என்கிட்ட யாரும் என்னம்மா ஏதுமான்னு கூட என்னை கேட்க மாட்டாங்க.
One thing from my experience working with these women, they need lot of affection. They are not wanted by their own people.
மறுபடியும் வந்துட்டு நான் யோசித்தேன் அந்த நிலமையில நான் போயிட்டு மறுபடியும் நான் சூசைட் பண்ணின்னு செத்து போயிடணும் அப்படின்ட்டு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டிப்ரெஸ்ட் அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கஷ்டமான சூழ்நிலையாக இருந்துச்சு எனக்கு.
After this burn, their whole self-esteem is gone. There is absolutely no confidence, especially Usha and Vanilla and all. I still recall the way they looked and the way they are now.
ஏழு மாதத்துக்கு நானே எனக்குள்ளே தெரியாத ஒரு நல்லா ஆகணும், எனக்கு ஒரு இது வந்துடுச்சு. என்னத்துக்கு இப்படி ஆகிட்டு கூட நம்ம இது பண்ணோம், இவ்வளோலாம் நம்மளுக்கு தைரியம் சொல்கிறாங்க, யாரும் நம்மளுக்கு இல்லைன்னா கூட பரவாயில்ல, இவ்வளோ தைரியம் சொல்லி இவ்வளோ எல்லாம் எடுத்து சொல்கிறாங்களே, நம்ம நல்லா ஆகணுன்னுட்டு வந்து இங்கே நல்லா வேலை செய்கிறது எல்லாம் பண்ணுறது, என் கை நானே தூக்குறதாயிட்டேன், எல்லா வேலை நானே செய்கிறதாயிட்டேன்.
What initially we are trying to do is just to make them functional. When you make them functional, their mindset also keeps changing.
I worked in many burns wards in India. This is the first time seeing NGO working for these burns victims. This burns management is one of the most expensive the part in our plastic surgery. It will not be less than 2 to 3 lakhs. Burns victims are the patients forever. They need multiple reconstruction in many years. Each reconstruction will not be less than 20,000. The multiple stages means it is unimaginable for the low socio-economical the people who cannot afford even single stage.
Safe Haven is just that. It provides burn victims a haven, away from incompetent hospitals, fatalistic treatment, and a misinformed society at large. Safe Haven also provides for treatment at home. This is necessary because too many burn victims are simply incapable of any movement, much less traveling to a treatment center due to the severity of their burns. And some, sadly, refuse to let the world see how hideous they think they have become due to their burns.
அவங்களுக்கு சங்கா மீட்டிங்ன்றதுனால அவங்க வந்துட்டு ஒரு பத்தின்னு இருக்கிறவங்க வந்துட்டு அவங்கவுங்க வந்துட்டு 50 ரூபாய் வந்துட்டு மாதத்துக்கு எடுத்து வைக்கணும்.
So that has brought in a lot of change because at least there is some movement of money in their hands. I feel it's a holistic approach is required for this. They need a lot of life skills so that they can stand on their own feet and that they don't have to depend on their menfolk.
Agni Raksha wishes to see a full-fledged facility especially dedicated for women and children suffering from burns, where they not only treat them but also ensure their all-round future, social, emotional and economic.
It's not that life is finished. There is life after burns.
The burns victims who will enter here, you can see the smile at the face. We cannot achieve the smile on these patients in outside. I don't think anyone can do this work except this Agni Raksha.